whereas I understand such actions are unlawful and against both the common law and commercial law. And whereas I understand that those officers who steal my property can be sued for gross negligence, theft, and other indictable offenses. Therefore be it known to any and all concerned and affected parties that I, John Charles, of the Spenceley family, a freeman on the land, do hereby state clearly, specifically, and unequivocally my intent to peacefully and lawfully exist free of all statutory obligations, restrictions, and maintain all rights at law to trade, exchange, or barter. Furthermore, I claim that these actions are not outside my community's standards and will in fact support said community in our desire for truth and maximum freedom. Furthermore, I claim the right to exchange these actions and further claim that all property held by me is held under a claim of right as mentioned in the Criminal Code of Canada. Whereas it is my understanding that the people in the government are merely playing roles, and whereas I am not playing. Furthermore, I claim that anyone who interferes with my lawful activities after having been served this notice of claim and who claims to properly dispute or make lawful counterclaim is breaking the law, cannot claim good faith or color of right, and that such transgressions will be dealt with in a properly convened court de jure. Furthermore, I claim that the courts of New Brunswick are de facto and are bound by the Law and Equity Act and are in fact in the profitable business of conducting and witnessing and facilitating the transactions of security interests, and I further claim that they require the consent of both parties prior to the providing of any such services. Furthermore, I claim transactions of security interests require the consent of both parties, and I do hereby deny consent to any transaction of a security interest issuing under any act, for as herein stated as a freeman on the land, I am not subject to any act. Furthermore, I claim my fee schedule for any transgression by peace officers, government principals, or agents, or the justice system participants, $700 per hour or portion thereof, if being questioned, interrogated, or in any way detained, harassed, or otherwise regulated. $7,000 per hour or portion thereof if I am handcuffed, transported, incarcerated, or subjected to any adjudication process without my express written and notarized consent. Furthermore, I claim the right to use a notary to secure payment of the aforementioned fee schedule against any transgressors who by their actions or omissions harm me or my interests directly or by proxy in any way. Furthermore, I claim the right to convene court de jure in order to address any potentially criminal actions of any peace officers, government principals, or agents or justice system participants who, having been served notice of this claim, fail to dispute or discuss or make lawful counterclaim, and then interfere by act or omission with the lawful exercise of properly claimed or established rights and or freedoms. Furthermore, I claim the law of agent and principal applies, and that service upon one is service upon both. Furthermore, I claim the right to deal with any counterclaims or disputes publicly and in an open forum, using discussion and negotiation, and to capture on videotape said discussion and negotiation for whatever lawful purpose I see fit. Furthermore, I claim the right to an education and to reserve it at this time. Furthermore, I claim the right to use funds either in my bond, evidenced by the bond tracking number on the birth certificate issued to me by the government, or to use the funds generated by the bond to pay off any student loan and pay directly for my education if I do choose to pursue one. Furthermore, I claim the right to use the funds in the bond or revenue generated by those funds to pay for food, shelter, and any other rights recognized by the United Nations and reserve at this time. Furthermore, I claim the right to fire anyone acting as fiduciary over my bond if they fail to acknowledge all rights herein claimed. Furthermore, I claim the right to revoke or deny consent to be represented, and in doing so, free myself from all statutory obligations or restrictions if doing so is, in my opinion, in my best interest. Furthermore, I claim the right to direct my fiduciary as to what to do with the revenue generated by my bond, provided the directives are a benefit to my society and myself. Furthermore, I claim right to order and direct my federal representatives to transfer directly to me at the said address funds and monies which they would normally transfer to my provincial representatives in the absence of any directives, if doing so is, in my opinion, in my best interest, and perfection of this claim makes it so. Therefore, all affected parties wishing to dispute the claims herein made or make their own counterclaims must respond appropriately within 14 days of service of this notice of the action. Responses must be under oath or attestation upon full commercial liability and penalty of perjury, and registered in a notary office or a commissioner's office, herein provided no later than 14 days from the date of the original service, as attested to by way of certificate of service. Failure to register a dispute against the claims made herewith will result in an automatic default judgment and permanent and irrevocable estoppel by acquiescence, barring the bringing of charges under any statute or act against myself, a freeman on the land. John Charles of the Spenceley family. The place and claim of right, Sackville, New Brunswick. The date, July 23rd, 2009. I, Freeman John Spenceley, and was the claimant, and this oath was taken before a commissioner of oaths in Amherst, Nova Scotia. I shall reserve her name so that she will not be affected nor bothered. I also, at the end of this claim, gave constructive notice as heir of God status, whereas Canada is a nation founded upon the belief in the principles of the supremacy of God and the rule of law, whereas the number 2 position in this hierarchy is not claimed by anyone, whereas the governments of this nation seem to rely on deception to gain the power to govern, and whereas I am desirous of living my life as an heir of God, and whereas the only powers able to claim any authority over an heir of God is God, and neither the government nor its agents nor its representatives or employees are God or above God, and whereas I, legally claiming the number 2 position in the above mentioned hierarchy, I occupy a position above all governments and their agents, employees, and representatives, be it known to any and all that on this date, an heir of God, I, John Charles Spenceley, a freeman, human being, do hereby lawfully claim the status of heir of God. Any human being who wishes to claim any authority over me must prove first they exist above God, they are God, they are between me and God, or they have a document upon the face of which can be found the verifiable signature of God. Failure to do first one of the above-mentioned things means all claims to authority are abandoned and unlawful. Attempting to exercise any authority over me without first fulfilling one of the 4 above-mentioned requirements is unlawful act and fraud or extortion. I thank you for taking time to listen to this notice, and I will be bringing much more information to you soon. Have a wonderful day.